was ordained deacon in 1990 and had a really fulfilling curacy at St. James's Piccadilly. And then I was ordained priest at St. Paul's Cathedral, again, because that's where I was also ordained deacon in 1994, in that group of the first women who were ordained really in a very short period of time from up and down the country. There were just ordinations every weekend at that time. Interestingly enough, the weekend I was ordained was the one weekend when St. Paul's Cathedral didn't have bookings because it was the London Marathon. Oh, so we got ordained that weekend. I was actually present at the vote. I sat in the gallery of Church House on the day of the vote, together with a group of women who had trained with me at Westcott House. Our former principal, Rupert Hall, was also present, and at lunchtime none of us thought this was going to go through. And we were absolutely amazed at the sea change, because it did. And when we came out into churchyard that evening, there were candles everywhere and people were singing Jubilate Deo in rounds. Perhaps you could just tell me something about your journey as well.
Of course, I was ordained as a deacon in 2020 during the COVID pandemic. Wonderfully, I can comment that at my ordination there were 3 women ordained alongside of a man.
Do you want to talk a little bit more about the particular aspects of being a woman in ministry?
I find myself sought out for pastoral care by particular people, and I wouldn't want to put that all down to gender, but I think that there can be a component to that. Just being an approachable person, but also that I can relate to especially my female parishioners and their lives.
That one of the experiences I had, it was certainly something I had not expected when I was first ordained, was that because it was so new, because it was known, because I was in the centre of London, that I suddenly found myself being asked for conversations and prayer by a whole lot of women who came to tell me that they had been previously felt rejected by the church. But I thought that was a really important and significant responsibility, because it was both to listen, it was both to try to build a bridge, it was try to enable people to come back both to church but back to God's care. Yes. And in that sense it was perhaps unique because it was the first group of women priests, so that suddenly there was this representation.